getting out of hand.
Ken wouldn't hit play.
No.
He was nervous. He was nervous what we were going to say. I think he's still a little nervous about
I just
what
didn't
we
want you
might
to let
say
out a little.
before he
We
sits
got
down.
this on our Mr. Checker Outer. I think we're going to be good to go. But
Press way.
I kind of enjoy starting a conversation as he gets ready to push play, just to see how people will react to the
yeah.
conversation happening until Ken decides not to hit play.
Well, he did used to like to hit play, and I think he learned. He got burnt once or twice.
When did he get burned? By us?
I think so.
When have we ever burnt Ken on this show?
I don't know, but nothing's coming up here, checker outer style.
We're live. Don't you worry.
Okay.
Don't you worry.
Is the board fired up?
Board's fired
It's
up.
firing up.
Board's ready to rock.
The board's ready.
Let's just give a little refresh. Greg, EO, we're gonna be Thuma once again.
That's a board question. I got a board
great
question.
Bed furniture.
I want this.
I got a board question right off the bat, just for them to ponder.
It's a beautiful crown molding.
Did you build that yourself?
Well, let's just say I was the inspiration behind the building of it. AGH, Nasda, my Welsh brother. Mander speaking. Good evening,
What's up,
sir.
bro?
Happy Valentine's Day to everyone.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can I put this out there? I just want to know. I'm curious.
What
if
are you
people
putting?
have-
What word can you
I
put
want
out
to know
there?
if the board can
Hear you?
let us know if we ever stepped over the bounds.
Oh,
When did we ever step? When
you're
did
just
we
gonna
ever-
throw that out there to these guys? The,
Yeah.
the line for
When did we
the
go too far?
crew.
Did we ever go too far? I don't
No,
think we have.
no. Years and years ago, not on this. We used to come into all our old shows, and it would be like, Father John Ensler has left the chat room. You're like, dang it. Why did Ken say that?
I haven't had a Father John reference in a while.
I
It's
don't
true.
Think we've ever.
It's true.
Well, two people have already thumbs up us.
Well, that's a good start to Valentine's
That's
Day.
a
where I'm
really
from.
good
I was
start.
going to say, that's
Two
better than no
thumbs?
thumbs up.
It's
In Gaithersburg, Maryland.
twice as good.
Damn right.
On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo, welcoming you to Thank God It's Tuesday. Offseason on the Brink, the official Commanders off-season show of let's just say of basements all across this land. He's Kevin Ricca.
Nice to see you guys. Happy Valentine's Day out there, you hopeless romantics.
He's Tim Stragan.
I feel weird, but I love you all. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I appreciate that. So-
Wait, you feel weird, but you love
Well,
us.
I mean, just
You
saying it's
feel
so
weird
close to
because you love us?
and we're mostly.
Yeah, I am right in
mostly
between
dudes.
you and Ken this Valentine's Day. That's not what I anticipated many, many years ago, but, life
I
comes
do
at you
love
fast.
I do
Sometimes
love
you got to
everybody.
eat the sandwich
I
that's
do
made
too.
for
I have
you.
no problem
Yeah.
saying that.
Yeah, the dong sandwich to the
It's
left and
just
the dong sandwich to the right. It's
Valentine's Day is not a big day on her.
no.
We don't
I want to know why Greg Martin is
go too far with it.
Valentine's Day the last day of drinking season what makes that the drinking season. We're gonna let him explain to the board. I've heard that a couple times now. I don't understand. Like he's got a season. It's a whole season.
Doesn't
He's
this
worked it all out.
Well, I've
Kick
got
off
a
drinking
season, but it
season?
kind of each season runs into another. There's
It's
never
like a weekly season.
It's been one season for
Yes.
the last.
We are
Yes.
heading
Yes.
towards St. Patty's Day, so next. So I would think that this is the
NES
ramp up.
Tecmo.
No, this is definitely wrap up
That's
time.
what I thought.
NES Tecmo has given us a little bit of a clue as to his true identity by giving us a thumbs up for this sweatshirt.
I think that Nintendo Entertainment System comes out of Forestville. I'm no
did.
detective, but
I bought my first Nintendo Entertainment System in Forestville from a young friend of mine who, let's just say, his mom may not have been 100% on board with him selling his Nintendo in the McNamara parking lot. Consequently, a couple weeks later, he was like, "Hey, man, my mom says I got to get that Nintendo back," and I was like, "Dude, all sales are final."
This rings a bell. I think. You
Yes.
told
Oh,
me
yes.
before. This
Oh,
is
yes.
Great.
And it was totally fine. It was totally legit. But
You shook him down, didn't you?
hey, listen, I was in the market for Nintendo, and he was a seller on that particular day. And my man Mike, I still got that Nintendo right over there. The very Nintendo I bought from you, Mike, still over there. Hopefully that's NES Tecmo, because that would be full circle. Well, listen, guys, it's Valentine's Day. We're not, I feel like
We
every
went from Valentine's
Tuesday,
Day to McNamara's parking lot. We could get whatever you wanted, sir.
everything.
All right.
Everything. Full of love. If you see or hear anything that floats your boat on this Valentine's Day, go and give us a thumbs up. Who knows? It's just between us. No one else is going to know. We promise. If you haven't yet subscribed,
except for it's right there on the screen.
please be a subscriber.
Glory hole Valentine's Day. It's amazing.
Listen, as much as we appreciate you going to T's OnlyFans page on a nightly basis and supporting him in that manner. Can you just be a free subscriber to our YouTube channel? I mean, that's all. Is that too much to ask? This costs nothing.
I mean,
and look how much you're
If
paying
you're
for
willing
T's
to pay,
OnlyFans.
I'm willing to do it. Let's go.
Yeah, well, we know that about you, T.
Appreciate that bonus content this morning, sir.
Wait, people
It's
do
a big
it?
day.
Yeah.
Big day
Nowadays,
for everyone.
So
that's how they do it.
I have unofficially called this a Victory Tuesday. Not because I'm not totally. It's not like Schadenfreude totally, but at the same time,
Is it that
Because
two thumbs up
Eagles-
thing? Still?
it's still the two thumbs up
Because
thing.
the Eagles lost.
Because the Eagles lost.
Yeah.
Of course.
That was a big win for me. Let's just get right into the Super Bowl. I think it was a fairly the hype and conversation about the penalty. I'm over and done. Was over and done with it the second after it happened. It was a total penalty. It should have been
Yes.
called. It wasn't an impact of the game.
It shouldn't even be a discussion.
It should not even be a discussion. I mean, again, it couldn't have happened to a better team.
How about this? It was the only holding call the entirety of the Super Bowl. There was one holding penalty.
They did miss.
Yes.
They did miss others.
So no one held anyone besides a defensive back late in the fourth quarter against Philadelphia. Brilliant.
I was
Brilliant.
super happy.
It's just like, oh man, you know what? That stinks for you guys.
so sorry for you.
Sorry, Chuck.
Then that's true. We do have one, but of course he did AGH.
I know. Well, listen, if you want to get technical, you can call whatever you want. Yes, but listen,
Yeah.
the way that game was called, no chance. There was freaking 10 penalties called.
They
It was a
swallowed
big. They
their
did
whistles.
on everything. They didn't call one offensive line hold penalty the entirety of the game.
Which
You
I
can
love.
Half the penalties had to be called because they were false starts.
You can still say
They didn't want to call anything.
You can still say it sucks that the game was largely, helped to get one on that. But
I disagree.
That's the game.
I
mean,
disagree.
it sucks. But it says it sucks that was part of the
How about this?
the narrative.
The people that love football know that one play doesn't cost anybody.
correct.
You know
Of
that.
course.
You know that. I know
Yep.
that. Blah blah. Blah. But for the fans that don't know anything, and we can dabble on both sectors. We're not saying we're some professional football knowers, but we do spend a lot of time enjoying it.
Yep.
It's just the optics of it all. How Philly lost. It's like, you know what? Tough, guys. Good season. I'm a little PO'd that Jalen Hurts lost to someone else besides us.
Yeah.
But he was awesome.
I thought he was MVP. I think
He very well could have been. It was the second greatest performance and a loss by a quarterback in Super Bowl history. I thought it was the greatest, but I went and looked at old shit. Tom Brady throwing for 500
Yeah.
against the Eagles, a comeback fashion.
I would have voted for him for MVP. I thought he was the most valuable player of the game. I know that's not how it works. It's not the Cal Ripken MVP of a losing team.
What
when the
Mahomes
Orioles
was a close second.
Sure. I thought Mahomes was special and certainly he deserved the award, but I thought that Jalen Hurts was the most valuable player in the game. Thought he was just an absolute stud.
If he doesn't kick that ball to the other team for a touchdown,
that's the play that decided it.
and that is.
Yeah.
And that's the play that lost it. I mean,
Yeah.
if you really want to talk about a play that cost Philly, it was when your quarterback, who's the best player on your team, drops back, drops the ball, kicks it, the other guy picks it up and runs it in. It's like, oh shit! A scoop and score defensive touchdown in the Super Bowl, man,
It's hard to come back from.
You get one of those with Patrick Mahomes at the helm.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And Andy
Good
Reid on the
luck.
sidelines.
It's just what it is, man.
Yep.
That's a dagger. You cannot have it. The guy was freaking lights out and amazing, but that was the reason why.
We got 2 winners and 1 loser in our game picks here. Not team win picks, but game picks. Kevin had the over for Devontae Smith total receiving yards. That was a big wiener. T had the Isaiah Pacheco anytime TD.
He was a stud.
Big wiener. I took Travis Kelce over on the receptions. Big loser.
I would have gone over. He got shut down after that
He did.
hot start. Remember, I predicted he was going to be the first tight end that ever won the MVP. And after the first series, I was like, "Go ahead and do it, Kelsey." His dance move was, that was just tremendous. It was better than any of Rihanna's shit. Hands down, he crushed Rihanna's whole entire halftime show with that little
Can we just say, like, with that, we can do like a quick
yeah.
look. I mean, I love Rihanna. I know you guys love Rihanna. I know you love Rihanna.
Adore.
She's great. Her hits are amazing. She's. There's nothing wrong or bad about Rihanna. There was two things about it. It was not like an inspiring halftime performance, and no guest performers at all. Like there were so many opportunities for her to bring in somebody.
Her baby.
Yeah, I get you. But like, I just thought that the Super Mario Brothers
Somebody is the most
platforms-
fun part of the whole thing. Somebody else. Somebody. Let ASAP Rocky in there for crap's sake.
That's right.
Apparently, he got let in a couple months back before
Yeah,
they let the Super Bowl
exactly.
committee know. I'm just going to say this. They didn't play Love on the Brain. And it's Valentine's Day out there, gentlemen. I'm saying right now, if they did play Love on the Brain, Rihanna wouldn't be the only one pregnant. Super Bowl Sunday. That song, you hear that, I'm getting there. Well, I hear Love in the Brain. I just start gently humping.
I've been there, and I
Sorry.
can't say that.
It's just don't play it out loud.
I try to
We just
forget
stepped
about
over
it.
the balance.
I did. It's Valentine's Day, and
Yeah,
it was gonna.
sorry.
The line of scrimmage has been crossed.
He had
I
6
set you up
catches,
for that one.
and the over under was 7.5. That was the line before the game. I think the field was a big story.
It was awful.
Yes and no. It was slippery,
was
and the
awful.
paint was awful. Like the field. So here's the thing.
Multiple linemen spoke on how it was like playing in a pool.
If you really want to get into the weeds of it, no pun intended. Actually, no pun intended.
Pun totally intended.
They grew this grass. So this grass that they used, it's like this Bermuda grass. They use it everywhere, and it's a studly grass. It's used in stadiums. It was voted like the best field in college football down at like Texas A&M.
All right, so who screwed up
It's
and
amazing.
who's
So what
losing
they
their
did
job?
was they overseeded it with rye, and they grew the rye about an inch higher than the Bermuda, and they let it. They brought it back indoors on Wednesday, and what happened is like rye gets like super slick. So it wasn't wet. It wasn't moist. They measure the moistness. Kevin,
Two moist calls on Valentine's Day. Dose moist.
Keep your tracker down. We might have a couple more of those. They have like a whole like measurement for moistness, which is the essence of wetness, as we all know. We've seen Zoolander. And is it wetness is the essence of moisture, or moisture is the essence of
You're hitting
wetness?
you're going. It's a whole new record.
Going down the road. Okay. So all of that was like perfectly fine. And the grass, this Bermuda grass, is like a money grass to play on. But they grew this rye out. They let it come on top of the Bermuda grass, and when they put it back in, everyone knows who knows about this stuff says the ryegrass is naturally slick. And they painted more of that field than you would have on an otherwise situation, and the paint on that rye is a disaster. And so the story is the NFL chose the look over the playability. So no one's wrong in the sense that obviously they tore it up. It came everywhere. Everyone was slipping. They couldn't get traction. People changed cleats left and right. All that obviously is real. The field was tough to play on, but it wasn't because they grew a bad grass. It was because, or the way that the guys took care of it. It was because the NFL, in their infinite wisdom, decided we want the prettiest, most 4K, looking field in the history of whatever. And at the beginning of the game, it was that. And as soon as guys got out there, it was a show. I mean, that is the NFL making can you imagine how much money they have that's the decision that they made? Like, that's crazy. It's crazy.
I was just letting you get all that off your chest.
You could just start with Craig. Yeah, he just went Cliff Clavin on us.
He
right there.
lost it about the grass. I didn't want to get in the way. Whiskey and rye, and I just started drinking
I
wine.
thought you
Rye.
meant like the drink, like
This will be the
rye
day that I die.
Yeah.
You know,
So, anyways, this is like a classic Redskins fan
a
issue.
cluster.
Yes.
It was, and it was a part of the. You don't want it to be a part of the game. It was absolutely a part of the game, and that on that stage, that is totally unacceptable. Whether you're a 96-year-old that's in charge, apparently, who got to do this because he was the first one to do it way back when.
He invented grass, apparently.
He invented
I think
grass.
so.
He did.
It was an idiotic decision.
The guy who
Whoever-
invented this, just
whoever
if
did
we want to
it,
get super
however it
nerdy,
was done
the
with-
guy who
with
invented this
rye,
grass, his last
without
name
rye,
was Wu. He
on the
invented
rocks,
this
it was the
particular
worst
Bermuda grass.
decision, whatever was.
It's been everywhere. It's been on fields.
Twisted
Churchill
it.
Downs has it in. Everyone loves this grass. The NFL took a good thing and they effed it up. That's what happened. Which is like terrible.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah, I feel like we've talked about grass, a lot of grass.
we have talked about a lot of
We
grass.
didn't talk about Rihanna because she came out in a gigantic red outfit, pregnant, which is bullshit. Now we're talking about grass. Not even the fun stuff. Jesus,
We talked about the Eagles losing.
that's true.
That was pretty fun.
I mean, I don't root for anyone to lose at this
I
stage,
was rooting for them to lose.
but I did not root for them to win because I
Fair
wanted
enough.
them to lose.
I wanted.
If you get in the business of rooting for losses, then I feel like someone up in somewhere is like
But if you're
checking
just
stuff.
rooting for the other team, aren't
That's
you rooting
fair.
for the team to lose?
I only root for a team to win, and if they don't win, I'm not mad that they lost. I'm not mad that the other team won. I'm happy for them. If you win a football
happy
game,
for
you
Jalen.
put in some serious business.
I would
Yeah,
be happy
he's
for
a stud.
Philadelphia fans. I would be like, you know what? I don't know. I agree with you.
Did
I
we
agree
all
with
take who did we all
no.
take?
I bet on the Chiefs.
We took the Bengals, I believe, but didn't we pick after that game?
Yeah, we picked the winners. I don't know who picked who, but I mean,
Well, I took the Chiefs.
I was Chiefs all the way.
Well,
I
I,
got a-
certainly did take the
I got
Eagles.
a nice big payday on that one. But like, you know, I won like $18 or $19. No big deal. Whatever, you know. I rolled it into a little.
How you
Churchill
gave that
Downs.
one back. that $2 you had to return after that 20 exchange. That's what the problem is.
Aftermath of the Chiefs winning, like, how does it change anything that matters to us? I think first and foremost, the first person to put a microphone in front of Andy Reid's face while the confetti was still flying, I think like the 10th word and 10th and 11th words out of his mouth were Eric Bieniemy. I think that was totally deliberate. I mean, he said, he said like, great game by whatever Mahomes and blah blah blah, and Eric Bieniemy, you know, and I was like, whoa, like that was I don't think I've ever heard him say Eric Bieniemy publicly that fast after a game. He's out of there. He's gone, right? I mean, that's just a foregone.
Yeah, but the writing was already on the wall for that.
Oh,
Well, his contract's up, so,
Yeah.
so they either bring him back as their coordinator, where he's been spinning his wheels, or he has to go do something else to get a head coaching job.
The crystal ball
if that's how we
wasn't
get there,
that he
holy
was going to
moly.
stay.
Well, I mean, I don't think the door was ever closed on it, but I think like they've made a point over the last week and a half to make this like a kind of a sending off of Eric Bieniemy. They've done right by him organizationally. They've said all the right things. Andy Reid said, "I want him to run the show if he gets a chance to."
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, no,
That means he's going to Baltimore. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, because you think Andy Reid's like,
Probably.
Bieniemy, and they're like, oh, God, you've spent all this time. You've done so well. You should go to where Daniel Snyder still exists. And
Yeah,
coach
I
for a
know.
team
Well,
that has a 5th-round quarterback and no one else signed.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. Their offensive line smells like doo-doos. Yeah, I'm sure he's thrilled about it, and especially because we can't exactly write him a big, huge, fat check, I don't think. Is Rivera in charge of how many zeros go at the end of this bad boy for this one-year
that's
deal?
it.
That might actually be a 0-year deal because Rivera might not even be here based on the new owner. That's still a possibility.
it's of course still a possibility. Would be a very disheartening thing. Not that we love the idea of Rivera being coach forever, but if an owner takes over midway through the offseason and fires the head coach after the carousel's already spun for a month and a half, that would be a little bit distressing. I think you kind of sit for a year. I think Hurnley and the Martys probably have the ability to pay market for a guy.
Market's fine, but
Yeah.
is he still in charge? Is he allowed to? Is Ron
I think
Rivera
Rivera's
allowed
in
to?
charge. I think he's 100% in
of the
charge.
money.
Yeah.
So he could be like, I would like to give you $12 million to be the offensive coordinator. Who's going to regulate that?
So I think he's the face. I think he's in charge. But the interesting thing is the
There may
leaky
be
news.
some mechanism where the NFL has some sort of say.
No, the NFL has no say. No say. Right now, Dan Snyder's the owner. And the interesting thing about that, T, is it's not the NFL. There were rumors on the street that an ownership group that was in the process of buying this team reached out to Sean Payton and tried
Whose
to.
agent is also Tom Brady's agent.
Yes.
And
yes.
let's bring them all to D.C. and have a
Yes.
good old time.
So
I like Peyton.
Yeah,
of
well,
course,
that,
but
that
we
ship
would-
has sailed. He's with Denver.
we'd have to
and
give a first. We
retired.
would have to give a first for him, and I don't want to do that, even as great as he is. But so like there's always like this behind the scenes machinations. I do think Rivera can pay him what it takes to bring him, but I just think that from the standpoint of Eric Bieniemy
Look at that.
allegedly wanted to work with. Yeah,
When did Monken get hired? Holy smokes.
I didn't see that.
I was cooking
saw,
Valentine's dinner for the last couple hours. I stepped it up
I
tonight.
saw
by the
Todd
way.
Downing got hired by somebody. It's a win for all parties. he wants
did
to
not
be
see
work with a
Monken.
defensive coach, right?
Oh yeah.
So that's a smart play for him.
Yes, I guess because he hasn't gotten that phone hasn't rang. Obviously, everyone else didn't get an issue in the shadow of Reed. Everyone else got a chance.
And
But
it's Reed's offense.
I also know that he is a bit more feisty and fiery, and he does. You've seen him and Mahomes going at it.
Some have said that may be one of the reasons why he hadn't gotten a head job.
Well,
Sure.
He may not have the demeanor. I guess.
So I personally, my
Wow.
half a penny of worth says that's not a thing.
Well, if it's not Baltimore, holy moly!
I mean-
you might have an offensive coordinator.
So it's the smart play for him to take a gig where he's surrounded by defensive coaches. That's a smart play for him, whether it's 1 year or more, because then he can take full credit for. And I don't think. I mean, it would have to go pretty south for the stain of that 1 year to ruin what he's done in KC. Because as bad as the rumors about his demeanor and whatever, like we've seen corrosive figures in our organization destroy the organization on the sidelines and in the front office. Like he didn't F up the Chiefs. Like you can say it was Andy Reid's offense. He was calling plays, and Reid was in charge. Bieniemy did a lot. But if Bieniemy was so corrupt or corrosive or bad, like he didn't mess it up. So like that's.
And he's had games where he called plays. Now
Yes.
they rotate. Andy Reid always does it, and he's called series, and he's been in the mix, and he's always relayed the plays in. The man understands the GD offense. Everyone's this whole argument is so stupid. This guy
Agreed.
understands it, and this guy. You know
Agreed.
what? That would be pretty special if we got him because of our. If we finally were rewarded because of our brutal averageness offensively, yeah, I would love some. That'd be tremendous. I look forward to having that guy in the mix.
Yeah, me too.
This
I'm
guy
all-
knows how to win. I know that. Let's see if he knows how to do it with some upstarts. We solidify that line.
I think it's a smart move.
We solidify
That's a
that
huge
line.
part, though. We got to keep that in mind.
Well, we're
You can be a
gonna.
great mind. You can have some great weapons, but if you don't have, all the pieces that you need, and you have an opportunity to maybe go somewhere where it is. I mean,
And as much credit as we want to give Andy Reid, who is deserving of the credit, the offense that they showed on Super Bowl Sunday on the Kansas City side, it was awesome. And it was all like they got rid of Tyreek Hill. You know what I mean? Like they rejuggled an offensive line with good players, but not the kind of offensive line Philly has. And they made
They've had the best O line in the last 20 years. For God's sake, people are talking about that.
the
line.
Philly on.
Yes.
Yeah. 100%.
I'm not saying that's my opinion. That's what the word is.
I think we should talk about that. But what they did on offense for the Chiefs on Super Bowl Sunday, I mean, it was awesome. They made the Eagles look bad, look horrible, look foolish.
With motion. They ran a
Yes.
motion.
those-
They took Kelsey from the outside in multiple times, and then they brought a receiver out, and then in the mesh put him back out to the side. Kelsey kind of got taken. Kelsey became a decoy after getting freaking targets early. Next thing you know, everywhere he went, everyone was going to his side, and they were running the ball in light boxes, and it was sick. They're so smart. Andy Reid is just one of the greatest of all time. Man.
you ever seen
He really
two
is.
wide open touchdowns
Nope.
like that in a Super Bowl?
Nope.
Against a very good defense.
I know.
They've been a very good
The
defense.
NFL does
all
not have
season.
open like that.
And
It doesn't exist.
not for nothing, and I'll say it fast, and we can trample right past it, pun intended. But those were hard cuts by motion receivers, and they didn't slip at all. Those were awesome moves on a rough surface. Sky Moore and not Hardman. Was it Hard? Not Sky Moore.
Juju was
it
all over the place.
Who was the two touchdowns? Sky Moore was the second one. The first one was 19. That was Kadarius Toney. Was it
Tony
Toney?
got a touchdown.
So they were the ones where they motioned in and then split out.
Yeah.
Those were athletic, hard cut, Curtis Samuel type wiggle move. Running wide open, it was easy. But
Well, when they asked Travis Kelce, why do they see you always wide open? He says, I say it all the time, Andy Reid, baby.
Andy Reid.
He's so fun. He is cool, man. That's someone I wish we had a guy we could root for that played ball and handled himself like that.
by the way,
He got his
AGH.
first, and then you're right. He went away because he became a decoy. I mean, the ball was going to him if he wasn't going to have 3 or 4 guys keep him
And they
out.
still got him a couple more touches, but at the beginning they were like, "This guy's getting it right now," and they schemed him up in a couple. How about his route? Guy's got inside leverage. He's either going left or right. You can see he was running to a point, and then he looked up. You know what I mean? That wasn't a corner route. That was if he's inside leverage or outside leverage, you got to beat him on either side, and I'll get it to you. That's sick. That's two people playing at a level that you can't possibly anticipate. That's them and hard work and whatever happens with those two freaks.
And I made the argument in a different setting that set the stage for the holding call in the fourth quarter, because if you look at that play where Juju Smith-Schuster, he spun, he was inside 5 yards, he did a spin move to get around Bradbury. There was nobody behind him, only open field, and that same type of pass that Mahomes threw to Kelsey for the touchdown to a spot. Now it was a little deeper, but if Bradbury hadn't held Juju, it's a walk-in touchdown. And I've also said, if Philadelphia gives up that touchdown, they have a much better chance of extending the game because they would have had all the time in the world to potentially tie it.
True, but those plays happen so often throughout the course of a game. It's hard to grab one or the other. But I do want to say this. Greg Roman, that we interviewed today.
Yep.
This is a guy with 12 years of experience. 10 of the last 12 he's been an OC. 2 years he was a senior consultant for Baltimore. In his 10 years as offensive coordinator, I went on a deep dive. But not that old. He's only 2 years older than us.
That's
medium ball. Dude has, in 10 years, he's been in the top 5. He's been in the top 5 rushing and led the league 4 times in rushing. He's been in the deep third in passing, and he's had some good players, and he's been a part of some seriousness. Baltimore in 2019, they led the league in scoring.
Yeah.
But you heard RG3 talk about how the receivers despise the system. He's old school tyrant. He's blah, blah, blah. I believe Ron Rivera sits down with him and says, show me how you run the ball like such a wizard with all these receivers and blah, 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 blah. And they talk and they talk and they go blah, blah, blah. And then he goes on his merry little way. Ron Rivera's not dumb. And you got a guy like Greg Roman that's been that guy running the ball.
Yep.
This team has too many high-priced receivers. They have targeted Greg Roman, their receivers, about half the amount of times we've targeted ours. And except for this, and it's just one quick little trivia question for the board and for you two. My one for the night. It got me. I did a deep dive on Greg Roman, and I'm not thrilled. But his numbers running the ball are impeccable. Then I started thinking about receivers and targets. In the last 3 years, sorry, guys, in the last 4 years, we all know, specific to wide receivers, but we all know who our number one targeted man has been in this offense for the last 4 years. Sorry, Terry McLaurin has been number one. Who has been the number 2 target? The number 2 target. It is such an indictment of where we've been as a football team. Injuries related and blah, blah, blah. The number 2 targeted wide receiver on our team since Terry McLaurin in his 4 years is bonkers. You don't have to get it by the year. Name one of the guys that was the guy, and I'll tell you you're right.
Was it Thomas?
Specific to receivers.
So the number 2 targeted receiver this past season, or any of the last 3 or 4.
Yep.
Okay. Well, the number 2 targeted receiver this past year, we would like it to have been Jahan Dotson, but I think he missed too many games to be the number 2. DeAndre Carter.
This past year was who? Who'd you say?
I said Jahan Dotson, but it probably wasn't. It was probably like
Curtis Samuel.
Curtis, yeah.
2021, 20 and 19. Here's what we're looking at. So AGH, you're correct, along with Robert Cohen. But Robert Cohen, yes. So we got 22. We need 21, 20, and 19. Second, so this isn't supposed to be too. Just take a shot at it if you don't know it. It's so I got Sims, Greg Martin, got Humphreys last year. Freaking
Humphreys. That's an absolute disaster.
With 41 targets, Humphreys was our number. And then in 2020, Cam Sims, correct. So I got Sims everywhere. 2020 was Cam Sims with 32 catches.
By the way, welcome Sebastian Schwartz. Welcome to our basement. I love the fact that we got a Ravens fan in the house, and he's telling us not to take the bait on Greg Roman.
I'm in agreement.
I don't want to.
We're all on the Sebastian team. Sebastian
running right now is extremely important, but
yes.
It's not more important than the passing game right now in terms of having the weapons that we have and getting them the ball.
Like if we go with a Greg Roman type,
you have to have a good running game.
Pick his brain, Ron.
But you've got to be able to.
I'd rather get
have them help each other because
like a 75-year-old, like old school high school coach instead of Greg Roman. If we're just going to run the ball 50 times a game, just give me like.
He went back to his high school.
I know,
about 8 years ago,
I
Holy
know.
Spirit in
I
Atlantic
know.
City, and was a high school coach for 1 year. And it said he got smoked by their rivals, and he went on to be the higher. But all right, Curtis Samuel last year, Humphreys the year before, Cam Sims the year before that, Steven Sims the year before that. So you guys that wrote Sims,
that's why.
Yes,
By the way, I
yes.
want to get an
I don't
AGH
want to say
comment.
be more specific, but
An AGH
that is
comment.
so bad. So we would have taken Greg Roman then,
AGH,
but not now.
to wrap up the Bieniemy stuff, an interesting thought from AGH is that if things go bad and he's here as the OC, that he becomes the interim head coach midway through as an audition to be the regular head coach. I hope that's not what happens. I hope obviously that we make the playoffs and everyone wins and Ron Rivera goes off into the sunset. But we know a lot about interim coaches in this town. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so offensive coordinator talk, check. The decision on that, like, I just keep wondering, like, we've interviewed, 7 people now total, with Greg Roman being the 7th, something like that. Bieniemy would be the 8th, I think.
Yes.
Like, I'm wondering if we can get the, like, I'm kind of with you, Kevin, in terms of, can we get this thing done? Can we get this hire made in short order, or does this thing have to necessarily drag on until after an owner comes on board? Like, can we get someone to believe that Rivera's in charge and he has all the monies
Right.
in his pocket?
He's in charge of all the money.
If he's in charge of the monies-
he can evenly distribute all of Snyder's monies. That'd be great.
It would be great.
That'd be great.
That's what I want to believe. But that is an open question. Like,
It's a very strange part.
We can
it's a very
interview
strange
forever.
time right now.
it's like the Seinfeld. Everyone can take a reservation, but it's the holding of the reservation that matters. Like, we can interview everybody, but can we actually hire somebody? Like, I'm not convinced yet. I mean, I'll be interested to see that part of the thing happen.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I love giving fans, when someone else spends their time with us on a Tuesday night, especially on Valentine's Day. During the Ravens bye week, BYU offered Greg Roman and Stanford offered Greg Roman. And since the bye week, his offense scored less than 20 points in every game except one. All right, fair enough.
I just remember RGP bitching and moaning. He
Yeah.
was like, it was terrible. Everyone hated it. It was like, the skill position guys. And he was there. And they were having success. And then he went ahead and said he's a freaking wizard in the run game. So, listen, I'm
Yeah.
sorry I'm citing RG3 here. He's been a pretty good announcer. I'm going to say that. He's been way better at that than he was.
agreed.
I'm just saying he's got a way
I
brighter
can't
future.
hate him. I can't, and I will never hate him.
You know what? He was tough. And he took a lot of hits here.
Yeah.
And he played through injury, and I respect him for that. He's also tough to handle with some of his because he really does adore RG3. He's his own biggest fan. It's really sometimes you're like, oh, come on, dude, just it's coming, and it comes, and you're like,
I'm not a fan,
ugh.
but I'm not a hater.
Me
I
neither.
guess.
Me neither.
That's the
I feel
thing.
the same way.
Well,
I don't want to hang out with him for longer than a whiskey. I mean, he's a nice guy to get a hot dog with.
I'll tell you, one of the biggest reasons that keeps me from, first and foremost, hating him, but also I still can't help but like him, not for what he did his rookie year. I blame Snyder. That's yet another casualty of our fandom is RG3.
Are you really going down this hole on Valentine's Day right now?
So I did
I'm
pledge.
gonna caution
Check
you.
out.
I wanted to.
Me and T are
we
gonna
have
talk
to-
about something
I
else.
won't. I
Text
won't.
me.
I
when
never
he's
should have
done.
said RG3's name.
I won't do. I brought. We'll save it for the next show. I do have a lot of Dan Snyder. I want because the end. It is going to be the end
Yeah,
of an
let's
era.
do it next show.
We will. We will.
I'm not here.
That's fine. But Dan Snyder treated him like an only child that you go sweetie, get out there. I mean, he let him in on decision making in the organization.
Come right to me, okay?
It was other players like
I don't like the plays. They're
I mean-
harder.
the players who no one knows, no one really cares about, and no one no one bought their jerseys. Those are the guys that I got to know from Hawks Haven. Like I wasn't getting like buddy with $12 to $20 million guys, but like the special teamers, people that went bowling and hung out. Like I got to hang out with those guys. They would tell me in no uncertain terms that it was different rules for RG3 from Dan Snyder, and to the point where it was almost like they even knew It wasn't even RG3's fault. It wasn't even his fault. He was a shiny toy that Snyder picked up and wanted control of and wanted to have total power of.
We were there. We saw it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't blame him as much.
I know, but also he's a turd. That's what I was trying to get across.
He has done some bad things.
He did the thing with his wife, and he scheduled the thing. Like, come on, turd. All you got to do is disappear and go be a dad. You don't have to be like, hello, oh my gosh, look who's calling. Like, he is so weird. I can't do the social media stuff.
I know. All right, so
okay, moving on.
I know these are hard people to talk
about him anymore.
I'm sorry.
I know.
They're hard people to discuss.
He is, and he's not going anywhere. And then we're going to have him in our lives for a long time,
Well,
for better or
he's
worse.
good on TV is because he is
I think
He's
that's
smart.
true.
egotistical.
And smart.
Yeah, smart.
And he does know
egotistical.
the game.
Yeah.
And he's pretty good at analyzing it. Eventually I'm like, I've had enough. It's the second quarter. He's done a good job, and I've still had enough. Like, I don't know.
Just like there's not enough good quarterbacks
I've
in
had
the league,
enough.
period, like to make
You
the
had
league
enough?
good at the quarterback position. There's not enough good color commentators in the television to make every game an awesome broadcast experience. And he's not at the bottom, scraping the bottom of the barrel.
In fact, he's surprisingly good.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But we kind of call it like we see it in that regard, and that is
Speaking of which, I thought the call was pretty good.
I
Well,
did
Greg
too.
Olson's the man.
Greg Olson
I
is
liked
cool
him.
as shit.
I've heard the only criticism is they weren't big enough. They didn't bring enough,
Maybe. I was fine.
I don't
with it.
need
liked
that.
it.
No, me neither.
I don't need that.
It was a great football game.
Yeah.
And those guys did a great job. The fact of football for the first time ever in the announcing was far superior to the halftime show.
Yes.
Or the turd
And
commercials.
commercials. Yeah.
Come on, man.
All
It
of
used
it.
to be so cool. We just desensitized to stuff with videos and stuff all the time because these commercials were not good.
Not just the commercials that weren't good, but I was thinking to myself, they had a picture of that first Super Bowl when the captains came out, and it was the Chiefs and Packers, and it was four gigantic hulking, probably like chain smoking, whiskey guzzling men who were about to beat each other's skulls in. If you would have been like, all right, guys, come on out for the coin toss. And then, okay, everyone, hold on a second. We're going to play a 5-minute video for people at home to watch and just make them stand on the field. Like, imagine Jack Lambert, who played like 4 or 5 Super Bowls, and you're like, all right, Jack, we're about to, before we toss this coin, we're going to kick it back to the booth for a 7-minute video on God knows what. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he's just like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm in a sweat. I'm all ready to go. I've been taking amphetamines for the last 45 minutes in the locker room. I want to play football, and we're not even tossing the coin. I mean, it was ludicrous.
Yeah. There's 2 turkeys dressed in costume twerking with ASAP Rocky. Can you just hang on tight?
Yes.
Mr. Lambert.
Yes.
And just shield your eyes from it, sir. You do not want to see this. There was nothing entertaining. Thank God the football game was lights out because it was. And you know what? That's the best part. That's why I left thinking, holy crap, that was awesome.
Yep, football
that was awesome.
was the main character on display, and
As
it was
it
awesome.
should be.
Yep.
I mean,
Thank God.
yeah.
Thank God. And I think
It's typically not the case.
it's true.
Many Super Bowls have been big old.
But recently they have been
better.
all been pretty good.
If you
to be
go
honest.
back-
I
if
mean,
you go
we've had
back-
a good run. I
if you-
remember when we were kids in the 80s.
Yeah, that was bad.
There was a stretch
And the
where
90s. Dallas,
it
the
almost
Bills.
didn't matter.
The Bills got mauled. The Broncos got
It
mauled.
almost didn't matter. You knew
San
it was going to be
Fran,
a blowout. one way or the
Bengals.
other.
San
It was
Fran and the
more about
NFC,
party.
NFC East dominated everyone. Yeah.
It was more about the party you went to back then than the actual game.
We need to get back to that.
That's changed.
That's on us. We need to get back to that. But all right. So we talked
Speaking
about
of
the
which,
game. Go ahead.
party, Super Bowl party.
Yeah, what do
can
you
I
got?
just note it was my parents' 80th birthday party, Mary and Rich. Congratulations! Yeah, we had a double birthday party for them. Their 80th.
Fantastic.
I was
Let's do 'em.
talking to your
Have a
mom.
birthday
Fun
there.
family affair, and I hope everybody
it.
else had a wonderful time.
I'll
What
cheers
did
to
you
that.
guys do for the Super Bowl?
Well, I just wanted to say happy birthday to your mom. I had a chance to talk to her 2 weeks ago, and she was talking about this upcoming birthday. And,
Yeah,
and
she's having a hard time with it.
but you know what?
talks
I was
about
just
it.
like, I was like,
She doesn't look
it's this. Like, come on. No one. First of all, if you didn't tell someone that, they wouldn't in a million years guess.
Neither one looks anything
ever. And just an absolute dynamo, and so and an amazing human being. So, happy
awesome.
birthday and congratulations. And all how many years have you been married? It's Valentine's Day, for God's sake.
Yeah, now you're gonna. So
Give me a roundabout.
At least they're approaching their 60th.
They got married around 20-ish.
They got married at 22. So.
All right. Well, cheers to that. We're going to talk about awesomeness. Yeah, we're getting some love from the board.
There you go. And I also agree, J-Dubs, the national anthem was very good to start the night.
Oh,
Chris Stapleton.
it was great.
Chris
It
Stapleton.
was great.
Awesome.
And let me just say this.
Yes, please.
I sat by myself. I had it was a basketball game. Everyone headed to the party afterwards for a second. We're coming back to I was by myself at my house for the start. I had a little stomach issue. I'll be clear.
Mm-hmm.
So by myself, get out of the way. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the television and I'm thinking like, holy moly! And the national anthem. Stapleton is a badass. I love him. He's a great writer.
Yeah.
Plays the hell out of the guitar and the guy can sing. He was killing it, and they're doing all the Sirianni gets up there that full. I lost it, dude.
Oh,
I
sure.
was by myself at my damn house, and I saw this D3 wide receiver from Mount Union College at the Super Bowl, and I saw all of it hitting him.
Yeah.
Anything he had ever done to get to that part. When you're a D3 guy, you have a chip on your shoulder at all times. You love this sport. Maybe you weren't given the ability, the height, the strength, whatever, but you played for 4 years and you get it. This dude's got a gigantic chip on his shoulder. Talking about Andy Reid not keeping him on the staff when he got the job. That wasn't even a
Not a thing.
He didn't even think about
made
it.
it a thing.
But he made it something because he's got a chip on his shoulder.
I love it.
And when you see a guy like that, and listen, but I respected the shit out of it. All of a sudden, the damn coach is tearing up like that. I mean, they were dropping out of his face before the all-women flyover and Stapleton is just crushing it. I was like, America, this is great. I was really, really digging that.
As well, you should have.
That was really cool, man.
I think from a Super Bowl standpoint, I agree with J Dubs. He put himself in Whitney territory in terms of. I mean, Whitney.
That's the number one.
Did he go over the limit?
He was taking his sweet ass time. He had to.
Trying.
I didn't bet on it this year.
I think he was going for it.
I didn't bet on. You know why I didn't bet on it this year? Because like people have been timing it from a different starting point and finishing at a different ending point for the last few years, depending on what house you bet. So I'm like, forget about it. I'm out. I thought it was perfect. I thought Stapleton put a stamp on the national anthem. I will listen to that track.
It was sick.
Numerous times over the rest of my life. When I want to hear the national anthem, I will play the Stapleton version. My number one all time is obviously Marvin Gaye from the 1983 NBA All-Star Game, and then it's Stapleton and Whitney for me.
I'm Whitney, and then I can't decide. I have to listen to it again.
Okay, sure.
Because you're correct. Marvin Gaye, the All-Star Game was bonkers.
Right here.
But Whitney gets me.
The true question is who's number 4. That is what you have to go look up.
Yeah, give me the board. Board, hit me up as far as hit
Carl
us up.
Lewis.
Oh, come on, man. You're going to go Roseanne Barr next?
Bro, when she grabbed her dong afterwards, I was like, oh, boy.
I laughed my ass
Oh,
off.
boy.
And then she got fired. Terminated.
It's like a 34-32 she's holding that. It was sick, man.
All right, so we talked about from a standpoint. So let's not do a deep dive this week on Payne and the franchise tag and that thing because we're gonna be hit that. I think we've already said what we feel. I think we're all in agreement that we should exclusively franchise tag this guy. Are we all? Yes. Are we all in agreement or no?
I would straight up re-sign him as well.
Well, we got to try.
I would prefer
number one priority is, but we don't give anyone else a chance.
$82 million, and whatever is guaranteed. Like, that would be a beautiful thing for everyone.
Done.
Because he'd be super happy to be here.
Yep.
I just said anything up to 21, 22 seems to be like. I mean, 19 for 18 for Jonathan Allen. We're sitting here looking at.
But I thought
20, 21, 22 for Payne. Yeesh.
I thought part of the reason for franchise tagging him now is to see if the experiment with how it works. Because if it does, then
he's going to be so fucking pissed.
Then you have the money to do it.
He is mad, but then you don't. If you do something, if he gets franchised, he might just say, I mean, yeah, he'll play. He has to play it out, but it's the big, huge FU for here on out. I'm talking about for everyone to be happy.
Right,
that would be my best. I'm just talking best case scenario.
We're probably not going to find that quarterback if it isn't Howell in-house now?
Oh, no. Of course
Where's
not.
that money going to be?
Well, so
No, I don't want a quarterback.
We're not putting money on quarterbacks.
No. I'm not saying we're doing it this year, but if you pay Payne this year,
Yep.
then where's money for a quarterback if things don't work out?
Well, here's the deal: the salary cap's going up by $8 to $12 million a year from here on out for the foreseeable future, and if you put yourself in a position, I'm of the mind where you draft quarterbacks out the wazoo, draft offensive linemen, draft corners. Those are the three people. If you get them on rookie salaries, you're doing just great. I think the franchise tag. And this is just my one man's vote, 1.5 cent take on the franchise tag. I think it's the way you do it. If you delay tagging him, if you try to sign him and talks are ongoing, but you're not sure what's going to happen, and other people are nosing around, and his agent's getting calls, and it's just a move you can make, then I think you have that's like you have the propensity
Then he ain't playing here for
to tag to make him upset.
Then he's a 1 year guy.
If you say,
Do you think he takes
Payne?
offense to that and says, "Screw it, I'm never playing here once I get a chance
well,
to get out"?
if
He
you
showed up in all green on the final day of the season.
Yeah.
He wants his money, and not just a little of it.
So
He
that-
wants all the monies.
That's
right
why
now.
I say the right move is, Mr. Payne, here's the deal. We have the ability, we're going to franchise tag you on the first microsecond our ability to tag you becomes, because we want to be the only ones negotiating with you. We don't want there to be any distractions from other agents, from other teams, from anything. We want to sign you for a long-term deal. We don't want you to be here on a 1 year deal, but we do not want the distraction of will we or won't we tag you, because our goal is to keep you. And then at least it's not a retaliatory move for talks going bad.
But this is coming from our possible head coach, who might be our owner, who might be signing the checks with the monies, who also might not be here next year. So I'm not sure how we make that move.
But this isn't a sticker shock deal. A sticker shock deal is
I'm
a
not talking
$40 million.
about the money.
No,
I'm
but I'm
just
saying
talking
like
about,
this
all of a
isn't.
sudden,
This isn't a big money deal.
So Rivera makes this decision, then a new owner comes in and tells everyone to beat it.
Yeah, but
All right.
you can't tell.
Then we're dead.
You're not telling Payne to beat it on a
No,
4-year, $80
I
million
know,
deal.
but what I'm saying is, who authorized Rivera to do this? I knew I was buying this bad boy 6 weeks ago. No one else knew it, but I knew it. So that's what I'm saying.
But like
this
this-
is
but-
too much for me. There's no reason for Rivera to be making this decision right now, unless
But
he's sign him to a long-term deal.
I think it's Rivera's decision to make at the moment.
I guess is what I'm saying. And you're right, but
I think we're all guessing it.
I know that's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
that's the thing.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's
So
why you have
I don't
to-
want to get into a deep dive on it about when it's like possibly never needs to be discussed. Maybe.
No, well, we have to discuss it.
Well, eventually, but you were like, let's not discuss this. And
I
then-
know,
then
I
you
know.
kicked back and you're like, well, I don't want to talk about it.
I think it's a
Just
style
you didn't
thing.
want to talk about it.
I don't. For the franchise number is 18.9. The big money is 30 to 40 million dollar contracts in the league. So if you can get a guy who plugs the middle of the field for you for $20 million a year, I just don't think anyone's ever going to regret that.
No,
organizationally.
because Duron Payne gets his $20 million a year to make sure no one runs the ball on us at a top 3 level in the National Football League. Derek Carr gets $40 million a year to thump that Bible and cry on national television and never win playoff games. That's double what we're paying one of the best football players in the freaking world.
Yeah.
So
No,
I get it.
The ultimate
What that
goal
means
is to have
we're
him
out.
here
We're
long
out.
term.
We should be out on free agent high priced quarterbacks. I think we've
Oh,
done this
we
many
are.
times. I know.
We 100% are.
But now I think we should all be draft another guy. Draft another guy in the 5th round this year. Who cares?
I think we have to draft a quarterback.
But I think we also
Somebody.
are going to get an athletic veteran backup that can come in and run the ball a little bit.
I got a name for you. If we can't get Taylor Heineke, which I think there is going to be a priority for them to go get, I would kick the tires and see how much it would cost to bring Mariota in.
I knew you love Mariota so much.
Well, because he fits the style. He fits the.
He does.
If he has to come in the game,
But he cost a butt cheeks load worth of money. I think.
I'm out. I'm out.
A guy like him either retires. He's not coming back for the veteran minimum. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not. So just to be clear, I'm out on him financially.
All right. Well, if Mariota wants to come back, I would love that. I love Mariota, and what a great guy to have.
He's
a
not gonna
veteran
compete for the
presence and
starting
great
job.
person in the room with Sam Howell.
Yes, and we're
That'd
not
be
giving
great.
him the ball on week 1, day 1. Like he's not our starter.
Don't say Mayfield, Greg Martin. Don't even say it.
He's
Suck the air out of the whole.
he's doing that to draw me out, and I won't fall for it on Valentine's Day,
Please,
sir. I won't.
Please,
By the way, Baker.
please, no Baker.
By the way, Baker.
Ken Hart's Baker.
Will you be mine?
Jesus, God.
Ew, that's
There's something that we
Will you
won't
be
talk about.
mine? Blah.
I'll keep my word. I won't
need
talk about
another
Baker
cocktail.
tonight. I won't talk to Baker. Talk about Baker. Here you go. That's empty. You need some of this Bushmills.
This is how it starts. Here you go. That one's empty.
So,
You need some more of this.
ultimately, we're all in agreement that
barely been
Payne
opened.
has to come back. He's no longer a
you,
guy
sir.
that we're worried about spending money on. That's going to cost us somewhere else. We need that money in the middle of our defense, right? I mean, we're in agreement on that point. I think the three of us. Okay, that's good. That's good for now. Ryan Leaf, I believe, is unavailable he might be incarcerated at this point in time.
I think he's out.
He's not incarcerated.
He's not
He has
incarcerated.
been.
This was a
been.
long. Guys. He's
But
so
no, he
much
got
more
in
mature
trouble.
now.
He got
I
in
feel like
trouble
we're
again.
like.
He ran it back.
Yeah, no, he got in trouble again for something else.
Probably something financial. Those guys are always
Yeah,
doing that
something
weird
like
shit.
I feel like it's the scene from Major League where they're like, "Hey, there's this guy Rick Vaughn. He's like, he's unavailable. Unavailable, like retired? No, unavailable as in incarcerated." We'll get there. We're gonna get there.
I saw the replacements this past week. It's got some great
For the first
lines.
time?
No.
Oh, okay.
But it's got plenty of great lines in it.
Plenty of great lines.
Great lines, yes.
Okay. Who's your favorite player on the team? Go.
Big heavy set dude.
The big heavy set
Name,
dude.
The lineman.
All right.
The one that hates
I'm
bees.
done with this conversation. Let's just get out ahead of
The
it.
one that hates bees.
You can't ask me a specific question.
You could go with John
Remember
Favreau.
names?
Favorite player on the replacements.
I can't. I couldn't say
Break
like.
it down. The cheerleader for me was my favorite player on the team. Gene Hackman does a great Joe Gibbs.
He's a way better high school basketball coach, to be honest.
If you had your way, and then, again, this has to do with this is going to be a money decision, and this means making hard choices. And this does not include Payne. Payne is a done deal. To take that $20 million of space from Carson Wentz and our $12 to $20 million that we're going to make from cutting people and forget about it, $20 million's gone. It's accounted for. Number 94 in the middle of our defense. He's there. Number one free agent wish. This is not about you trying to be Eric, what's his face, and fit this into our, we're going to be able to make it work. Okay? We're going to be able to make it work. So we're almost on day one of the new NFL calendar. Does anyone have? I have a guy who and it's a wish, and this wish is a high wish, and I'll tell you guys it. And Tremaine
We're waiting.
Oh,
Edmonds.
Yeah.
He already told us via text message earlier.
Yes,
don't
I
know if you
did.
remember
I
that,
did.
but-
Dude, you're not supposed to talk about. That's behind the curtains.
I thought that, but
That's
you were,
Wizard of Oz
then
stuff.
you were asking us if we knew, and I didn't know we were supposed to be like,
Like we're supposed
true.
to act.
who could it be, Tim?
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Thank you. Was that so hard? By the way, give those guys a thumbs up for their acting
Donde
job.
está Esteban?
I don't know if it's obviously it's like asking, it's like sitting on Santa's lap and asking for a Red Ryder BB gun.
Oh, God.
I understand.
Jesus. Thank God he said BB gun at the end. Holy smokes. I didn't know what kind of Valentine's Day we were getting into. But
The old middle
we're about to
linebacker
wrap this night with a bow.
wish
and
list.
Head on out to the back.
Is that
Said
is
Red
that
Rider, not Red Rocket.
is that too much? Is Tremaine Edmonds?
Well, I do believe that.
Does he fit?
Well, here's why. The one reason why it would make sense. If you're Ron Rivera, you're sparing no expenses. You turned it all around. I know he's retooled our roster. We're younger. He's done all that. The stuff
Yep.
you're supposed to do that allows you to get another job or let people say you did a good job doing
Yeah.
that. And he's done that. I'm not saying he's turned us into world beaters, but there's a different vibe going on here. And Rivera's well respected, but he's got 1 year left, and he knows it. Why the shit not go out there?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so Ken, today you sent that text over there the text that he didn't send.
That you guys are so
I'm just goofing off and saying, hey, what are we going to do tonight? And I just wrote down who's going to be our starters next year. I just like to sit there and be like, who's our starters and work my way back. If you can notice, and I didn't do any free agency.
Yep.
There's two big holes there on defense. it'd be really nice if one said Payne and the other one said
That's
Edmonds.
what I'm saying.
Because Ron Rivera is in a year where we're about to turn the reins over to a run guy, a guy that's going to be calling plays based on having a badass top 5 defense,
Correct.
which we were hoping to have 2 years ago. We didn't. But if you could plug in that guy and that guy right there, and we would be under the salary cap and draft and get a couple of veterans, then we go at it with what we got offensively and hope to God. Now, we got to retool that offensive line, but that can be done via draft and with some retooled veteran replacements. Why not? Why not? Hey, you got to be all in here, Ron. If you're riverboat effing Ron, what are you going to do?
On defense.
Slow play your final year? I don't think so.
No way.
It is time to push, baby. Let's go.
I mean, you're
Put
already
'em all
going
in
with
the
the
center.
you're already
Let's
going with
go.
the rookie contract quarterback.
Let's
You're
go.
already doing that.
And that's the reason why. You
Exactly.
can. And,
That's
and
why
let's
you
push
can.
the chips in, and let's see. And by the way, Del Rio and Rivera, yes,
Baddest ass
Holcomb was
linebackers
okay.
ever.
And Jamin Davis, and a nice project. Let's go get a guy.
6'5".
And let him play with this guy because Tremaine's up in Buffalo, and there's been 2 guys up there playing linebacker together for a long time. Those guys have been playing weekend football, extra football at the end of the season for a long time. If we could get Jamin Davis and Tremaine Edmonds, and by the way, Buffalo plays a ton of nickel, and we play a ton of nickel, and it is such a good fit. And if we could get him for, what are we saying, 4 or 5 years, 70 to 85
Yeah, it's going to be a $20 million a year contract.
It is. I think it's going to be 7. It could be a 16, 17 type of scenario.
I would take. I mean, that to me, that's a no-brainer. But
I
the
don't
franchise
know.
tag is 23.
Oof.
And that's what's keeping them from being able to tag him.
But also, you got Levante David out there. This market,
Yes.
there's 4 or 5 stud. I mean, Van Der Esch is like the 5th guy.
Oh, I don't want him.
I don't want a cowboy. So, but Van Der Esch is a good football player. Levante David is a freaking animal.
How long has he been? How old is he?
I think he's 32.
Oh, I thought it was like 50. I
Maybe
mean,
he's 36.
it feels like he's been in the
I
league
know.
forever.
No, but here's what I'm saying. 1-year deal. Not 1-year deal. We have 1 year to deal with the coach, who's also now the owner, the check writer.
GM.
He's valeting cars. I mean, I don't know who else. The hell else is doing it.
Halftime show. Is he pregnant? He might be pregnant. He might come out pregnant for a halftime show.
Well, if Love on the Brain came on at his house, he's totally
he's
pregnant.
done.
Because check it out, Rihanna, Love on the Brain tonight.
Do it, man. Do it.
Do it.
It's amazing.
You just walk in there and just whatever your sexiest outfit
This
is.
is Kevin's Valentine's Day tip.
Yes.
I mean, after 4 whiskeys, I'm just saying.
But the thing about
That
the thing
song
about
makes
Tremaine
someone's
Edmonds,
pants fall
Kevin
off
goes in the
instantly.
closet and plays it to himself.
that's
on
no
earbuds.
closet. It's more of a basement closet situation. Maybe the laundry room. The thing about Tremaine Edmonds,
You can see out, but no one can see in.
the
Closet.
so he's 6'5", right? He's
6'5",
gigantic.
250. He always has been, too.
I know, and the
he was
thing
5.
about our middle linebackers, and in general middle linebackers historically, you're talking about shorter, squattier guys, but like the passing. This is why I like a guy like Tremaine, and I know it's going to cost a ton of money, and I don't know if it's realistic, but the reason why
We're going to have $42 million at least.
him and Jamin Davis in the middle.
What's that, 35?
You know what the kind of passing lanes they block that they're in the middle of the freaking field.
Dude's
Those are
two-time
two physical monsters there.
Yes.
Pro Bowler with 74 starts under his belt. Pretty good dude for Jamin Davis
Yes,
to
and
figure it out
speed
with.
side to side as does
2
Davis has.
speedsters.
Yes.
And you want to talk about like reach and arm shit, like
Mm-hmm.
Tremaine Edmonds is all of it athletically in this league.
Yep.
He is. When he walks out in a uniform in the burgundy and gold, we're gonna be like, damn! It's like a Chase Young Montez Sweat
Yes.
effect. The
Yes.
dude looks all of it. man.
And the reason why Edmonds to me makes so much sense is because of the investment in Payne. The biggest investment you can make in your linebacker core is a strong middle of your defensive line, because those are the guys who are keeping the guards and the centers from getting to the second level and putting hands and pads on your linebackers. If you have the ability to, and I will also say this, I think we've watched Jamin Davis turn into a player who can perform in this league. I think he's going to continue to improve. I love the arc that he's on a career basis. I think
Took him 4 years in college.
it took him 4 years in college. I think he's
And he
playing,
signed as a 187 pounder.
Yes.
So
I think you put Davis and Edmonds behind Payne and Allen, and you have big, strong, fast, physical linebackers who are going to be able to play relatively unscathed.
we would give some people the business.
Yes.
With that health wise, with that starting group. And by the way, there's already some pretty damn good backups coming out. I just listened to the starters. So
you guys are throwing them out here on the thing. But so you have to be able to cover. If you look, the model for defensive backs, that some of the best teams, including the Eagles and the Chiefs drafted, I believe, 5 defensive backs last year. I believe I want to say they only drafted defensive backs and offensive linemen. They had 10 picks, 5 defensive backs. The Eagles turned 4 or 5 veteran defensive backs, corners, slot corners, and safeties. The model, I think that you're starting to see that is working in this league is not so much signing the best free agent corner or defensive back available, but continuing to invest draft resources and just finding that veteran who fits what you do. And we haven't done great at that. We've signed good players, but they haven't fit what we do. And the players who fit what we do are out there. They just are. They absolutely are. If you put Edmonds and Davis behind Payne and Allen and a couple of defensive ends getting after the quarterback, well, how about this? You guys know this as well as anyone. In any sport where ball possession is the key, pressure on the ball is the absolute most important thing in the world. Basketball, soccer, football, you name it, lacrosse. Any sport where ball possession is the absolute thing.
I thought we said sport.
Sorry. Take it easy.
Keep going.
Pressure on the ball. We put pressure on the ball with this Washington defense. We can find corners and safeties for reasonable contracts who can do what we need them to do. That's all.
Yeah. I just want to get as many dudes that run to the ball. And then that final game we watched, we had some young bucks in the secondary running to the ball and annihilating people. And I love that. Mm-hmm. And I love that they don't need to be starters just yet. They can be special team guys and bench guys. And our defense could be lights out if we decide to go that route. Make sure we shore up that offensive line. I know we're sitting here spending all this money on the defense. Obviously, that leaves not a ton of money left over on that offensive line. But, I have no problem if we go cornerback, O-line.
Yes. 100%.
O-line, cornerback, O-line.
Yes.
I think we need 2 big old uglies, and we certainly need a corner because homeboy didn't work out last year from Cincinnati. And you know what? Obviously, we thought we needed that guy to make our defense be where it was. And maybe we didn't, but it certainly would help. I mean, how many goddamn plays can Danny Johnson continue making?
I know.
Holy shit.
But a classic example of a low-priced veteran guy who can do what you ask him to do. I think the sacrifice for in terms of the draft capital is to get 2 big uglies in a corner or 2 corners in a big ugly. I think the sacrifice is you don't dip into that tight end class of this draft, and it's a good tight end class. But I'm okay with that because if I can get 2 offensive linemen that have the ability to contribute in the first year and a cornerback who slots in to what we do,
they all have to play in the first year.
They all have to play in the first year.
Unfortunately. But a lot of teams have done pretty good with rookie guards.
Yes.
Not so much tackles, not so much centers, but how many times have you seen a big rookie guard and 6th-round pick, blah, blah, in Pro Bowl contention for someone? I'm like, can we do that? Can we get one of those dudes? And, Chris Paul might be okay someday. I don't know if this is his year. I'm looking at this year as like we all should be, like you guys are, I know. This is a one and done for everything. This is
everything.
For everything. For everything. Like
everything.
So much stuff going
we're
down.
On the brink.
Let's push let's at least put some ball pressure on the dealer. Whether it be with a toe or a spur.
On ball pressure.
Huh?
A lot of ball.
It's Valentine's Day,
It is
bro.
Valentine's Day. Sorry, the ball references.
Sack up, dude.
I got away from the moist references.
No, you didn't. Because you're now in double digits. You dipped into the.
Damn it! You know what? I apologize.
Is it a fun dip? Is it a lick 'em stick?
Yes.
But don't mix
I'm just
moist
saying.
and balls, please.
By the way,
Please don't mix the two.
when's the last time you had a fun dip experience?
It was this weekend.
Yeah. How far did you get all?
Sir.
Did you get all the dip?
Sir, I took the whole thing. I don't know how far. No, of
All
course
the dip?
I do the finger. I can't do the lick 'em stick thing anymore. The idea of that chalky sugar stick.
The sugar stick is where it's at.
I don't know.
But I can tell you this, Kev. I can't. How do I say this without getting any kind of
Gird your loins, man.
gird your loins, YouTube? I love the lick'em stick. I think it's great.
I did everything in my power to make sure my whiskey didn't go all over you.
I
was
love
amazing.
It's so
It was
good.
coming, too. It was
so good.
From right here, it was a done deal. Oh God.
But it's
ready
too
to
much.
just-
It's
That's
too
wrong.
much
That is
lick'em stick.
completely wrong.
It's too much lick'em stick.
I don't know what Greg Martin's referencing, but that was completely
It's completely wrong. Okay, listen. You know what?
Holy lick'em
We're,
sticks.
we're going to come back to that.
No, we're not. We're done with that one. I think T would agree.
I got to be honest with you guys.
We're gonna shred that one.
The football less portion of our year has begun, and it is an absolute. It's a tough spot we find ourselves in. It's mid-February. The next meaningful game that counts is 7 months away. The next meaningful action that we'll see is 5.5, 6 months away, really, honestly. And so a lot going on in between now and then. But fortunately for us, or unfortunately for us, we're in the unique position that we've been without a playoff team. We've been in February, looking ahead to a long off season. We've had churn on the sidelines, churn on the field. But this, from here, now the entire league is on an even playing field, except for us. We still have a new owner to be decided. We still have a new stadium to be decided. We still have a coaching staff to be decided. We have a starting quarterback, but
They say.
we love Sam Howell, but everyone understands the deal. No one's a starting quarterback in freaking February on Valentine's Day. Not a single person in the world, except for Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, and maybe Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. But at the end of the day, we don't have anything. We don't have
Allen?
and Josh Allen, for sure, 100%.
I'm not going to start guessing.
It is about to be a weekly descent into complete and total
Meaninglessness.
yes, but not speculation
But come
forever.
back next Tuesday, guys.
I mean, everything that's about. So the owners' meetings are in a matter of weeks. They will approve a new owner for our team
No, it's
at
the
the owners'
dawn of
meetings.
A new day. You're making it sound so dreary.
No.
It's the
All
dawn
I'm
of a
saying
new
is
day.
we're
It's
in
a brand new day.
we don't know
You
shit
guys
about
know the
shit.
commercial?
This is
We've
about-
been talking about we have a
we're
guy
about
who's
to-
in charge,
we're
but he
about
might not
to
be in
turn the
charge.
page- We're about to turn the page to the next chapter.
We have guys
For
writing
real.
checks. Like we have a head coach, Ron Rivera, who we love dearly, who's writing
Where's my checkbook?
multi-million-dollar
Son of a
checks.
bitch. I
It's
know
not his
got it around
money.
here somewhere.
We have a front office who's got
It's
to
his
believe.
money for this year.
Yes,
this
they're
year.
on the way out.
No. I'm just saying, like, you're allowed to spend, this money is his money to spend this year. I'm just
I agree.
discussing,
That's the beauty of the transition.
signing a 4-year deal, and someone's like, I don't give a shit. Go right ahead.
If you're a new owner coming in, that's the beauty of the salary cap. Like for example, when the Expos were run by the Major League Baseball owners, and everyone knew they were going to be a new team somewhere, someplace, and we were hoping it would be us, and we got our team in Washington. By the time we got them, they were picked clean by all the other owners. They were managed down to a skeletal staff of 45-year-old relief pitchers, and some guys whose birth certificates were totally falsified, playing the field, and we had to rebuild from that.
Do they
This
really
is not
care-
that.
Do they really care about falsified birth certificates in the major leagues?
No, because those guys were on our team. They were getting paid money to play baseball for us. We're in a different situation, but
You
we're
have
in
to
the
show
same
your
amount of
certificate.
unknownness.
I'm just saying, just so everyone out there isn't worried, Snyder can't just sign Jimmy Stankass to a $25,000 year, $250 gazillion contract, and then
Peace out.
try and reach the little pedals at the Potomac River thingy as he heads on down. I'm just saying.
No,
I'm just
no,
saying.
no,
Just
they
saying.
Swan?
They put
Yes.
block- they
The
put-
Swan?
They put blocks
What are
on
you
it.
doing here, Swan?
They put blocks on it. They put blocks.
Yeah, he gets the block, the little kid block. You're a good boy, Dan. You're doing good.
Short round
Yeah.
from
I
last
don't want to
Crusade.
do it anymore. Oh, I want a lollipop.
He is the short
Throw
round.
you in the
of
river, you
NFL
little
owners.
shit. Get in there. Oh, goddamn. Well, he can't just sign anybody to some, that's all we're just joking around about. But it's very easy for Ron Rivera. He can, these guys are arguing about it on the way. Ron Rivera can go and sign whoever the shit he wants to right now. That's understood. He's he's controlling the budget. He's in charge of the monies. He is allowed to do that.
And
He's operating under the idea that he has 2 more years left on his contract, which we all know is 1. He's not going into that last year without a deal, or else he's gone on his own recognizance, I would imagine, or else he gets fired, whatever. But he could have a huge year and get re-signed. So, that's how that's where we're the standard operating procedure.
Yes, and
What if things go really well? Then the new owner says,
That's a good problem
why
to have.
should I get in the way of something that looks like it's working?
correct. Great problem
Snyder's
to
still
have,
out there going in
So,
circles. You're like,
I don't think it's a
Glass
totally
is half
done
full.
deal.
T. Strachan
with you.
showing
They
up
have
late to the party.
pieces
Right.
to make it to the playoffs.
sure.
Yes. No. That's the beauty of our. That's the beauty of our
playoffs,
situation.
yes.
Is that if it goes great, there's a lot to be retained in a young, fast roster with a coaching staff who understands how to give them a
And
chance to
players who
succeed.
love 'em.
And players who love them.
Have you
They
heard
do.
the players say
Yeah.
anything
Yes.
bad about
No.
Never.
Rivera?
Never.
They love him.
I mean, the guy
They
was
want to win for him.
getting chemo at
It'd just be
halftime
nice-
while he.
It would be nice if they could all just get on the same page in the W column. That would be great for all of us.
Terry McLaurin was doing like popsicle stick splints on his legs so he can go back out there for the second half because he was like, my coach is like literally getting chemo at halftime. Like, what am I going to do? Go out for an ankle sprain? The beauty, that is the beauty, T. That's the beauty of our situation. And no one, the other beauty of our situation is this. Market value contracts for defensive tackles and middle linebackers, which is what we discussed tonight, and Tremaine Edmonds and Deron Payne. No one's like Deron Payne is an Albert Hainsworth, all right? Like no one's gonna blink an eye at giving money to people who've earned it inside the sport.
There's
100%.
a lot of teams out there that don't even have a Jonathan Allen.
Correct.
So a Deron Payne to them is their Jonathan.
Yeah.
So yeah, and for some people, El Guapo is their El Guapo. As we all know.
But Uncle Julio?
But Uncle Julio.
Oh, Ayudame.
Going forward, as we talked about at the beginning of the show, going forward with Sam Howell as our stated starter, that's the freedom that a one and done situation or a one
Right.
and whatever possible back end situation affords us. You're paying a 5th round pick $1 million to play quarterback for you. You have a hell of a lot of freedom to shore up everything else around him.
There's no Tom Brady if somebody didn't take a 5th round choice. Reach on him.
But like I said earlier, think of $20 million for Deron Payne and $40 million for Derek Carr. Twice as much for a guy who's 3 times worse. It's just, I hate the market, but you know what? If that's what we're going to do, if that's what the market is, fine. We've learned from this market. But you know what I love about Rivera? Everyone's giving him a ton of shit on Carson Wentz. It was a big fat turd. We were hoping for better, but it was a one and done. It no longer affects us. Typically, our big fat turd decisions affect us for years and years. Yeah. He's gone. I don't know. It's not official, I guess, but he's gone. He's done. And now, instead of paying someone $40 million to come in here, Derek Carr, who we all said the second that he got benched, we said, bullshit. We're gonna have to. No, we didn't, and we haven't. Because it's bullshit. Because we're not gonna. We already talked about that shit last year.
Yep.
And he was in that same group of people: Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, Derek Carr. Like that, we would be like, maybe we could acquire one of these guys. Yeah, exactly. Same exact cats. And you know what? Let's get out of that racket.
We're out of it.
Let's get into the Deron Payne, Tremont Edmonds. 2 for 1, plus maybe save a couple mil on a Derek Carr contract. How about that? Having 2 guys of that caliber and impact in the National Football League versus Derek Carr. And that's the fine line between paying the right quarterbacks and the other quarterbacks and what quarterbacks get paid.
And if you want to have the ability to take, so you sign Payne and Edmonds, and that's the bulk of your money, but you still have some left over. And you're going to go out there and you're going to try to convince guys to join your team. The people that will respond to you spending money in the middle of your defense potentially are veteran, free agent, offensive linemen who are like, oh shit, yeah. If that's where you put the value of your team is in the trenches, yeah, I'm down. A cornerback who knows, shit, if you guys have those guys up front, I got to cover for 2 seconds, maybe 3 seconds at the most, in your defense. Speaking of people who are gone, guys, and I won't linger, I promise. But
I know you're going to say, I'm writing it down right now.
Say it. People who are gone forever. People who are gone forever. Because I might not get a chance. I don't want to be behind this. But the next time we have the next time we meet, next time we have a show, I don't want to be behind this. I want to be in front of it. And I want to say someone who you're never going to see again, someone who I had the pleasure of telling you was going to be gone forever from our lives during the last year and a half and on a going forward basis was Daniel Snyder. He's gone.
Daniel
he ain't
freaking
never
Snyder.
coming back. He's gone. He's gone, everybody. And
I never liked his ass anyway.
Did you write
He's
him down?
gone.
Did you write him down? Oh, you said Logan. Sorry.
Who'd you say, Dan Snyder?
Dan Snyder. I'm saying he's gone. He's gone forever. He's never coming back. He is, for the most
He's
part,
been broken up with.
he is his, and we won't go to negative town on Dan Snyder. Let's just say one thing:
No.
he's gone forever. He's
Fuck Dan
gone
Snyder.
for effing ever. He's gone. By the next time we talk, we might have even an official word, but he's gone, and that is the most amazing thing for our fan base to like rally around and to consider and think about. It's been 20 plus
Where do we
years.
meet to celebrate when it's official? I think we rally.
We're rallying.
This is a rally. It's rally
This is
time.
rallying. This isn't we got rid of Vinny or we got rid of Bruce. Those were both two amazing moments in
we
Redskins
do it.
fan history. All right, T's already there. He's already rallying.
You rallying?
All right,
Nice.
so AGH,
Nice.
am I saying he's gone by next week? I'm
Later,
saying it's
Dan.
possible.
One more whiskey, I'm done rallying.
I think the announcement for who buys our team will be made prior to the owners' meetings, which means it could come any day from now on. They would not let the Super Bowl be preempted by this news, but it is happening, and I just want to everyone to we've been on this team together.
Yeah.
We've been on this team together, and we've been saying in no uncertain terms for quite some time that it was going to be the result. It was going to be what happened, and it is an absolute like
This is the way.
it's a golden day for us. It is. I mean, this is it. And I'm not trying to oversell whoever buys us because I understand the game. Who knows who buys us? Who knows what they do? I'm not focused on that right now. I'm focused on ripping out the cancer from our organization and getting it the hell out of here.
But I know this, and I'm hoping it didn't go terribly wrong because all the bids have already been submitted. The original, not all. The original bids have been submitted. Old possible owner Josh, let's just say, a guy who might own a basketball team in Philadelphia, came and took a tour down here.
Yeah, I did.
I don't
Josh
know about
Harris.
this, but you guys have been there. We've seen it. It is not
the worst tour
It's
ever.
not a very impressive place.
It's the worst tour ever. Like if you're gonna buy
My
something,
high school has a better facility right this very moment,
you
right
say-
now, than the interior
You're like-
of that place.
what's the price again? $7 billion.
Seriously?
Hey, come take a tour of FedEx Field. I'm like, are you serious?
Was this a Ramada? Was this possibly a Ramada
No,
at
it's
one
more
point?
La Quinta. That was a La
It's so
Quinta.
dirty in
That
there.
was a straight
It's
up La
like
Quinta.
dark and burgundy. You know, you walk in, you're like, hello. It's like, I'm here for today's funeral.
NES Tecmo, what year were you? Just give me your year from McNamara. Greg Martin, less than 6 weeks. J Dubs is taking a day off when Snyder's out. The A team, what are we drinking when the news breaks? I
all
think
of it. We're drinking it all.
all of it. We're drinking everything that's not nailed down.
Let's go. Let's rally. Let's go.
I think it's
somewhere.
important.
Let's go somewhere. Where do we go? RFK parking lot.
I say the words. I say the words that it is just sports. I say the words that it's not. It's not life and death. I understand all of this, but this is our space. This is our space to love and be passionate about the things that like make us happy. And in our space, we've been shat on by a guy for 20 plus years. He's been shitting in our space.
Yeah, well, he tried. He's not tall enough to do that. He's been shitting on
I-
my feet.
His
That's what he's been doing.
the kicking in the feet. I love the kicking in the feet.
Yeah,
I love it.
We were like, whoa.
I love it.
Very elusive. It was like dodgeball out there.
Shitting on our feet.
We were way better than McLaurin at dodgeball. I'll have him know that.
We've just been
He's
way better being a receiver.
Snyder chicken shit.
We'll put
No, he just
something
does
out
those
there.
little rabbit ones.
To the extent it's possible for us to go live when it happens, we'll do it. If we can rally for that, we will.
No,
I think
Whatever
Kevin's onto
happens.
something. I think we ought to, as a group right now, just
Pledge?
make RFK, the old RFK
Okay.
site,
Okay.
the place where we all meet when it happens, just to signify to the city and the new owner. This
All
is
right.
where we want it.
I think
agree.
I'm a
Who's
team
in
guy.
charge of that?
Well, you are. You just.
Well,
you just
it's
throw it
called
out there.
grassroots. So I said it. Now all of you go.
No,
out and
we're
say
going
it
back to
somebody
grass.
else.
I did a whole grass conversation earlier. This conversation, you guys
don't
talked
put
me off.
Ryan.
Now you're
No,
going back to grass.
that was
Just don't put it
terrible
right.
ryegrass.
Just don't put it in Ryan paint.
Wait, what's he doing with the grass?
I
Is
don't
Keith's
know.
grass better than your grass?
No,
It usually is. It usually is.
Tried all the grass.
Sure.
I said go to the grass.
It's
and
legal now.
Spread the word.
So it's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Well, listen. We're smoking all the grass when he goes
smoking
up
all
the
the
Potomac.
grass.
Now you're talking.
It's a combination. It's what we should do. We should do everything that makes us feel good because he's taken everything that made us feel good and flushed it.
And
down.
we've guarded ourselves against the possibility that it wouldn't happen. We've guarded ourselves against the possibility that maybe he can survive like a nuclear holocaust. We've guarded ourselves against the possibility that he's so entrenched and so well off and so protected by a league of 32 men that he was never going to get to this day. And, I put it a little bit on myself to put it out on the positive side, not to drag, because I know Kevin's been grounding us, and it's been important.
I'm optimistic.
But that's been 5 years of grounding.
It's
But
because
but we said in no uncertain terms. We said on no uncertain terms when no one else would say it that this was happening, and it's happening, and it's such this like. I mean, I just can't express enough on this Valentine's Day when I'm
You're
feeling
trying.
when I'm feeling like the total love of my favorite team that I grew up embracing as a religion because that's what my father and my grandfather instilled upon me. This is what we love as a family, and how much a man ruined it for all of us, all of our families, and for us to live through the last 20 years and to get to this point, where we can say he can't hurt us anymore. He can't hurt us anymore. That's it. Like, that's it. He can't hurt us anymore. Like, did we just say that? Can we say he can't hurt us anymore?
you can say he can't hurt. He can't hurt me anymore.
He can't hurt us anymore. All right. I don't know where I was going with that, but I got to that
Your
point.
own personal therapy session right now.
Dude, that's what I've been doing. That's what I you know what? You guys, I sucked you into this 7 years ago.
I'm focusing on the rally, and next thing you know,
You can't hurt us anymore.
I need like Cosa Premium and like 4 other things. Mostly, one more glass of that and some rye.
And some rye. RC,
start
AGH,
drinking
J-Dubs,
some rye.
NES Tecmo. Hey, A-Team, Greg, Robert Cohen, EO, man, J-Dubs, we appreciate all you guys.
No, that's who I
Reds.
want to rally
bringing
with. This
is our team of ralliers.
Sebastian.
That would be
Sebastian
yeah,
Schwartz,
yeah.
our Baltimore brother. We appreciate you guys. We
Yeah.
appreciate everybody. I know J-Dubs. I know he'll try, but you know what? He's done. I mean, I can honestly say, I don't even think he's in this country right now. I don't think he's coming back ever. I think,
He's on the lam.
he's on the
He
line.
kind of is. He's
Kind of
such
like
a little
staying
bitch.
out of reach of the feds.
Dude.
That's what he's doing.
I mean, if we really want to go down the road, Tanya's divorcing him and taking everything. I mean, this is going to be
That's
the rest
actually
of,
happening.
It's, again, am I breaking more news about Dan Snyder? Yeah, his life is about to get even worse. But forget about that for right now. All that matters for the most part is he's going to get.
Kids have to hate him.
Well, let's not get all the way dark on this one, though. I mean, let's not get super dark.
I heard he has a third ball
he has
and
like
a superfluous nipple.
and a superfluous nipple, which, by the way, kind of fun. Chandler Bing made it. So we are the Mustangs, the mighty Mustangs. NES, give me a freaking year, buddy. Give me a year. Love all of you guys. Really do love all you guys because everyone here knows one thing that we're all on the same team about, and that is that we love this team and we've endured. I don't know that everyone's watching this show, The Last of Us on HBO. I don't know that everyone's watching it. I am. I played the video game. I love it. I know it's a big deal. But the title of this week's episode was Endure and Survive. And it harkens back to the video game. And I saw those words when I was on my DVR. endure and survive. And it was instantaneous. And I thought about my Redskins fandom for
Did
the
you
last
cry
20
like
years.
Kevin did during the anthem?
I did. I did.
It was spontaneous, and
did.
it felt good. I felt alive.
I did. I felt alive.
I was like,
too.
I actually care about
Hand
shit.
on my heart.
I
A lot of
still care
emotions
about
here
shit.
on Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
You
Dude,
nailed
that's
He Snydered it.
You
He
Snydered
Snydered it.
Dude, you
Oh no! Everyone saw. Did you guys see that?
On the last Snyder day of the year. You Snydered the Snyder out of that.
Snydered it.
You happy Thanksgiving dust. How did that just happen? How did that just happen?
There's no way that happened.
You just went Snyder 101 on us. For God's sake. Fuck. Oh, God. Oh, that deserves an F-bomb.
There's like a dozen other holidays.
You just went Happy Thanksgiving. You just went Happy Thanksgiving on us.
I usually have emotions on Thanksgiving, not on Valentine's Day.
I know. You're getting emotional. You're getting emotional, and I love it about you, and I love it. Endure and survive is, by the way, having a thing on
If
our
the
thing.
board has hung in there.
Happy
God.
Thanksgiving, everybody.
There's 11 people watching, but only 6 thumbs. I want to see 11 thumbs. We've endured, and we've survived.
It's the best ending. Like it can't. It was organic.
It just went down like that, and that's how we're going out. Until next Tuesday night, I will tell you right now, we're standing by for the greatest news in the last 20 years of our
love
team
everybody.
and what we care about and what we love. He's Tim Strachan.
See you later, guys. I'm not here next week, but these guys will take care of it. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, and I'll see you in a couple weeks.
He's Kevin Ricca.
I don't know how it went down, but it's going to take me a while to recover from this Thanksgiving holiday.
Dude, NES Tecmo's my year? How do I not know who NES Tecmo is?
He's the guy that sold it to you in the parking lot.
Did you sell me the Nintendo in the parking lot? That is my classmate.
Oh my God, it is him.
Oh, Queenie.
He's
I
pissed.
want my
That's the
$2.
case. Then he
He doesn't even
knows.
think
He
that shit
wants his
T-shirt is funny.
$2.
Oh, God damn it. I can't believe that just happened.
Bring it, NES. All right. Side off Snyder. All right. You know what? We're enduring and we're surviving
Someone tell Greg Martin next week that
for
this
one
happened.
more. Yeah, someone tell him.
Endure
it
and
happened.
survive. Endure and
Yeah.
survive.
Yeah. Craig Martin.
Should be
for
a.
God's
Should be
sake,
a.
have yourself a breakfast stout ready. Even though your season of drinking is over. We still are enduring. We're still surviving. We're still alive. I'm Ken Marangolo on behalf of First Amendment Sports. Thank you for being part of. Thank God it's Tuesday. EO. We're still live.
What just happened?